Well, hi. I thought you'd probably be expecting CHAZ to show up, but he's at the Ravens game watching his team play against the Eagles. For those of you who care about what's going on with football, but really, we're here for you guys today, and we got a lot to talk about. We're gonna talk about war games. We're gonna talk about the GOAT talk, and you guys will want to be on for this one because it's gonna involve some tag teams that people want to talk about. We're gonna talk about who's going to win the Continental Classic or who we think should win. We have also Damien's the Master of the Week. We got TEMP check. We got all that good stuff that you guys like. So more importantly, what I want for you guys is to sit back, relax, and let your boys entertain you for about the next hour or so. Kawaii.
Warning: the following program is a collection of idiots talking about the happenings in the sports entertainment world. It is meant to be comedically informative. The opinions expressed on this show does not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their bosses, or the Infinite Plus network. There may be some out-of-pocket things said on this show because this is how we talk to each other. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further. Your homies, the 3 Count Podcast. P.S. Please don't sue us.
Hit him with a 3 count. Pin him to the ground and the crowd go wild, man. Now know we out.
It's not even a show today. That's right. Hi, it's your friendly neighborhood Red Dog, and this is Red Dog and Friends.
No one told you life was gonna be this way.
What's up? It's your boy, your nephew, your cousin. No, it's not my line. It's not my line at all. That's not my thing. Welcome everyone to another great edition of the 3 Count Podcast presents Red Dog and Friends, and I'm your host, Clifford Red Dog Miller, the man that just happens to be around today, this day. But it's never about me. It's about my friends, because this is Red Dog and Friends. So let's talk about my friends. Right next to me, you see him right there. He is the Dark Lord, the GOAT, the man who watched Hercules pummel Atlas for holding up the globe. He is the Dark Lord, Damien Fatal.
I give that match a 5 out of 5. Just putting that out there. It was great. It was great. I was calling the action at ringside doing color. So yeah. Good times.
Healing it up. I like it. And of course, right here, you guys see below me, he is Lord Twitch of House of Graves, the only Graves that matters to you. So learn his name and speak respectfully, all 3 of y'all. Otherwise, he's gonna have to come up here and talk about you, at a certain radio broadcast in New York. But give it up for Graves.
I ain't got nothing to say.
Well, bet. We're going to start this off with, as always, our intros and announcements. You guys know what to do. Go check us out on all of our social media platforms. We're on all of it. TikTok, Instagram, Threads, at 3 Count Pod, Blue Sky at 3 Count Pod, whatever the rest of that thing says, .bluesky.sky.mmm.fixfights. Then you guys can go check us out on X at 3count_pod. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook. You can check us out on Spotify. You guys can check us out on all your favorite social media platforms. That's to include the ones that haven't been out yet, like Mastodon and whatever else is out there. We're going to be on those as well. Also, go check out all of our merch, 40wear.com, or even go check it out on prowrestlingtees.com. We're there to support us, buy our merch. And then eventually, you guys are going to see all this right here is about to change. All this, we typically go into like our December time frame. We do a slight hiatus. We come back. We have brand new stuff for you guys. So that's all going down. And yeah, so like I said, thank you for joining us on Twitch, on Rumble, on Facebook, on YouTube, wherever you guys are talking to us from. Thank you guys for coming and joining us. Appreciate that. So what are we going to talk about first? We got to bring up temp check. And for those who don't know what temp check is, it is simple. We're going to give you our hottest, our coldest, and our match of the week. So we're going to start this off with Twitch. What you got?
My hottest of the week, Jacob Fatu. If anybody watched that War Games match, you understand why.
Yep.
My coldest of the week, I don't really have one this week. Yes, Jericho for that outfit. Watch anything on A. Yup, that man right there. Snarf, snarf, snarf. What were you thinking with that? That yellow on blue jacket was horrendous. And let's talk about that cowboy hat, sir. No, just no.
This man wilding out.
My match of the week, and there was a lot of wrestling this week, still goes to LWO and American Made on Monday Night Raw. That was a solid match. It was tied with Ludwig, Braun, and Sheamus. But the thing that did it for me is it's a tag team match. Ray is still coming up with inventive way to hit the 619. American Made looked amazing. I'm here for it.
Right, yeah. I agree. Damien, what you got?
My hottest. I was gonna pick Jacob as well, but I'm gonna go with Shinsuke.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go with Nakamura. And of course, coldest is always Jericho.
Yep.
Which now will tie into my match of the week. Like there's so much, like you said, there was so much good wrestling on like all fronts. I did have my match of the week on Friday. God damn it! Now I forgot the fucking match. Who the fuck? What the hell happened on Friday?
Yeah,
a lot.
A lot.
Shit. It was a SmackDown match, and now I can't fucking remember.
I mean, what, Jay and Jacob?
Maybe that's what it was. It was that match. That was my match of the week, but I'm gonna give it to LA Knight and Shinsuke Nakamura. It was a beautiful story. Like from beginning to end, it was Nakamura's and LA Knight's head, and damn if he wasn't. From like opening bell to him pinning those shoulders 1, 2, 3, wasn't expecting it.
I mean, even before we even had the match, when LA jumped on the ropes
and dropped the title.
Yeah,
man,
exactly.
Commentary gave him no pass on that.
No, they did not. So yeah, even I think once the mist to the eyes hit him on Friday, that sidestep, that little sidestep when he missed him in the face was amazing.
That was sick. I'm
gonna have to give it to Nakamura and LA Knight.
Okay,
there was so much good.
There was a lot of good.
Like, everything was good.
Yeah. All right. So my hottest wrestler of the week. Jacob Fatu and Shinsuke Nakamura. You cannot go wrong with either one of those two picks. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna throw a third one in there. Right. Women's. Right. Io Sky.
Bro.
Bless her.
Right. All day. All day.
Bless her, bruh.
All day.
Yeah. So fly. Like, just so much flyness going on with her. And I know Rhea Ripley picked up the win, for Survivor Series, right? But man, like, there's just something about Io just doing a moonsault off the top of the cage in a trash can. Like, you have no idea where you're gonna land. She just threw it out there like, fuck it, all go. So I was like, I was very hyped for her. Coldest, I'm gonna have to agree with you guys. It's gotta be, man. I mean, there's no doubt. I don't know what you were thinking in your Temu Wolverine jacket.
God damn it.
Clearly, we're talking about it now. So it had some kind of impact on us, right? So Chris Jericho, definitely my coldest. And my match of the week, listen, like I'm gonna be a little unfair. Because I got an A, B, and C, right? All different reasons. My match of the week, right? I'm gonna be honest though, man. I really enjoyed the men's War Games match. I thought that match was fire, top to bottom, inside out. Like the stories being woven in between. Like you get to stop you get to stop, send out Jacob, you get to stop, send out Sammy. You know what I mean? Like everybody was cool. Paul Heyman coming in, giving getting instructions like work together, right? And then like at the end when Punk hugged Heyman and told him, when I cash in that favor, I'm gonna cash it in. He's like, whatever you want. He's like, it's all yours, whatever he said. But yeah, I gotta give it up to that War Games match. My 1B, this is a match. It came out of Focus Pro Wrestling. I was there last night, as you guys saw, because I wasn't on the live stream. But I got to give you guys, if you guys get a chance to go check out Manny Ramirez and Manny Ramirez. That's not even right. Manny and Marcus Mathers had this crazy match, and it was so good. Manny Aries, those two tore down the house. One of the best matches of the night. Actually, I'd said it was the best match of the night. So I would implore you guys, if you guys get a chance to get IWTV, go check out Focus Pro Wrestling and go watch that match, because I guarantee you guys have a lot of fun. It was a great time. And then my 1C, right? This is a match where it's not even a match in the traditional sense. It's just two dudes who are just angry at each other and just yelling in the back. And Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods had some words for each other.
Yeah,
and
he
you
did.
could tell this was a lot of pent up anger going between these two, and I was here for it, man. Barbs were being thrown. Like I know it's not your traditional, like I said, wrestling match, but it's just two dudes in a heated exchange, and it was very well done. And I just loved like everyone. You could tell each one of them were like, I'm holding on to this, I'm holding on to that, right? 6 seconds with Brock Lesnar, fumbling the crown, it's that and the other. I was like, damn, dude, this is good. This is real good shit. So those are mine.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first time that 6-second match has been brought up on like TV, correct? Like the first time they actually acknowledge it.
If it's not the first, it's the second, because
they don't talk about it much at all. Okay,
no, not at all. In fact, I think we probably bring it up more times than those guys do. So yeah, no, it was wild though. It's still to think about to this day that, Brock goes in, he squashes Kofi, 1 F5, and then Cain Velasquez comes out, and they're like hoping this promising career from Cain Velasquez, and he doesn't even wrestle one match. He gets hurt, and then he goes to Saudi Arabia and pretty much just instant armbar, and like that's it. Like that's the whole match. This is what we got. This is a rematch we all wanted.
Oh, yeah, totally.
It was great. We're gonna hop over. Let me hop over to the comments really quick. Start this off. Coldest LA Knight and Bianca. I can agree with LA Knight. I can definitely agree with LA Knight.
Bianca held her own though.
Yeah,
she dude, the double ponytail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She definitely.
Now, granted, if you want to say that she's the coldest because she attacked Jade, then I can get on board with that.
Yeah,
because I think she attacked Jade.
It is. You know what? And to be fair, like I think we're about due for a Bianca heel turn.
Oh God, we definitely are.
Yeah.
Way overdue.
Because her heel work in NXT was so good.
It was.
Despised her just because of just how she was. I was like, man.
Same here. It took me a while before I was like, you know what? She's doing the thing to make me hate her. I like her now.
Yeah. Hottest is Braun. And I can't lie. This is a fair call.
Yeah, that match. I'm sorry, that triple threat match was fucking phenomenal.
So good.
All 3 of those men came out looking squeaky clean and shiny.
Yep. Ludwig is the man. Let's be real. Man.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He don't get his flowers as much as he should.
Let's talk about Sheamus taking them shillelagh shots.
Right.
Let's
talk about that standing vertical leap.
Mm-hmm.
Bro.
From the ring to the table.
So good, bro. So good, man.
Kaiser pulling up the upset of the century.
Yeah.
He pulled off the referee. For Sheamus
that was crazy.
That close.
If they were to ever run this back as either a singles or a triple threat again, I'm all for it.
Oh yeah, 100%. He said Osborne until he got hurt again. Geez, I forgot what we were talking with reference of this too, but go ahead, Mr. Golden. I know you'll put it in. You're paying attention to us.
Yeah.
Let's bring it up. So, hottest dark Shinsuke, of course. Coldest Cody and Gunther for those lackluster ass title reigns. I'm not gonna front. I'm not gonna front, man. Yeah, I can get behind this. I
All
can
of
get
it.
behind.
They've
This
been,
is why
they've been a
LA Knight
little
dropped
man.
that title, though, man. This is why LA dropped the title because listen, like we're all for the chase of him winning that U.S. title, and the moment he won that title, man, like what was next, man? Like nothing.
My man
Nothing was
Dean
for
is
you.
so correct with this because I agree wholeheartedly. Cody and Gunther's title reigns, no disrespect to them, and I'm sure people will hate me for this. They're boring as fuck. Like, wholeheartedly. It's the same promo every week. It's the same thing in and out every week.
I disagree, but I feel like most people feel that way is because the stuff that doesn't involve those two championships are fire.
I mean, this is true.
I feel like that's what it really is. It's not that they're not good or they're not entertaining. It's just that everything else surrounding it is like on fucking point.
But how many times is Gunther going to tell me, you're trash, you're not on my level, to the next person in line every Monday night on Raw?
Well, I mean,
Like-
right now he's been feuding with just Damien Priest.
And
But
how
that's
many
why-
times have
That's why I like the way that it was switched this time, though. Think about it. Gunther went into this not Gunther. He went in this dejected and like not sure of himself.
Oh
And
yeah,
like
it's
Damien
Cody.
Priest was cutting him off.
I don't disagree
of
with
that.
that. And that's probably the most exciting thing about this title reign with him. Promo wise, you're not there.
I mean,
I
I think my
on it.
issue with it. I think my issue with it is that when it comes to Cody, right? Like, biggest win for Cody is Gunther. I mean, that's just it is what it is. And Gunther's biggest feud was Cody, and it was for a title that was kept in Saudi Arabia. It's
Here's
not
your
even
ring.
like they can hold. They got a ring for it. You know, they got the Super Bowl ring. That's it. I think to me, like there's no once they win, like there's nothing there, man. Like Roman is like the next person that you're gonna put up against Cody, right? Because there's just nobody else there on this level to battle for that title. And when you look at the other side of things, you know, the loss to Cody helped Gunther because it made him kind of like, yo, maybe I'm not the best, and maybe I'm not supposed to be this person. And you know, obviously the win over Damien was massive, but Damien had his card the whole time, which I liked. But I look back at it, man, I'm just like, I don't know, man. I think both reigns has just been kind of lackluster. And to be fair, it to call back something I just was talking about. Same thing with Kofi. We were all hyped about Kofi Mania, and then after Kofi won the title, he had that match with Randy, and that was it. We really didn't see anything else. Like it wasn't fair. It wasn't fair for him. Jacob Fatu is so fire, of course. Water is wet. I don't care what people say. There's not an argument. Water is wet. So you know we just know there's three things that are going to be three things are for sure: death, taxes, and Jacob Fatu tearing down the house. Because
There's four then. Jacob Fatu's love of Solo.
Yep. I love you, Solo.
Bro,
Every single time he got the chance.
those intros that they did, like the Monday night intros,
Yeah.
bro, I was crying when I saw when he was like, he's like Solo, Jacob Fatu, Samoan werewolf, I love you, Solo. Jimmy had me the best though when Jimmy was like, Jimmy Uso, NYU, No Yeet University. I was like, this is good. This is what you're supposed to do. My vote is Gunther and Priest, match of the week. Yeah, 100%.
That was a good match.
It was a great match.
Really good.
The men's War Games match was definitely such a great should have different stories being told. It was well produced. 100%.
Yeah, it definitely
100%. Charlotte or Alexa was the attacker. Ooh, actually, I think they said the twist is that Bliss might be feuding with the Wyatt Six.
That's what I
when
heard
she
too.
comes back. But Charlotte being the attacker, I would not dismiss it because there was that moment where they were looking at each other when
Backstage,
when she was trying to
WrestleMania.
figure out who she was going to sign to. So there's definitely a move for that. They're cheering for the heel. Yeah, it's Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They cheer for all the bad stuff.
they do.
I said what I said. Come say something to me. I can't wait to be not allowed in that country for. We saw what you said in America. Like, yeah,
Nah, that'd be all right.
yeah. Not a fan of Ludwig. That's tough because 3 people
I mean,
care.
he's doing his job, Mr. Golden.
He's very much. He's like, listen, man. He's a pretty European. That's what he is.
There he is.
That's what makes people so mad. That he's like a good wrestler. He's like very like good, well put together, very handsome. And then like when he's dressed up like behind Gunther and like he's you just want to punch him in the face because he has a punchable face. But yeah, you're like, God, so good looking. I just want to hit you one time to make it not so good looking.
It's because he's German.
100%. NXT heel Bianca is undefeated.
All day.
I love that.
Oh yeah, Fatu. Fatu was the one that got injured. That moonsault. Oh my god.
Bro.
Look, I give it to him. The fact that man was still injured, he was at every spot that he needed to be in.
He was everywhere.
Yes.
So good.
It was
Ludwig.
still.
Yeah, and didn't Jimmy break his toe or something?
Yeah, he broke his toe on that splash from the top.
Yeah.
Bronson got hurt supposedly.
Yeah, but come on, man.
From that tsunami.
Come on, man.
Let's talk about that.
That table exploded.
It stand a chance.
That whole entire spot was beautiful because it was like,
Absolutely.
man, Roman would have died.
Yeah, he would have. It was looking rough, man. I was like, oh. Ludwig is slept on. He really is. He really is slept on. Let's be honest. They rushed LA Knight into that U.S. title reign. I don't think so. They took their time building him up. They gave the right person. If anything, I would say they were too slow on LA Knight because he'd been bubbling for a while.
Yeah, he probably should have won it 6 months prior.
Yeah, because like the thing is that Logan like did a great job. Let's be real. Logan Paul he did holding that title, and he got people to dislike him. And at SummerSlam, I think probably was the wrong time to pull the trigger. I think it should have been probably like Money in the Bank, because he, the crowd was into him, and once he won that title, everything kind of just sailed off. Because Stone Cold said so, right? If you smell what the Rock is cooking, I'm the Miz and I'm awesome. So Mr. Golden is just going off, just, sir, are you okay? Just want to make sure
Are you trying to send us some sort of message?
Yeah.
Blink twice. You need help.
Two clown emojis if you're in danger. 2 words, suck it. My man's just going out there just putting all the catchphrases out. Repetition, Braun, and then his injury and his big matches. Yep. The Wyatt Six is dead. Of course they are. That's why they're there. That's why I said Braun is the hottest. Yeah, that dude is just
a masterpiece of genetic engineering. I stand by it. He's a test tube baby.
He 100%. I gotta feel that. They should have got the IC belt off of Braun and used him in the main event picture. I still think they will.
They will, just not yet. I don't think. I kind of want him to cook a little bit longer with the IC title.
Yeah, 100%. Kaiser is so good. Absolutely. Let's see what we got here. As big as that man is and moves like a luchador is fucking amazing. 100%, bro. Like Bronson is just wild, bro. And Jacob, let's put both of them. What's funny is I showed my wife a picture of Jacob Fatu from January of 2024, so earlier this year, and to see him now, I was like, he's just so different, but still hits just as hard. It's
right?
Insane to me.
I think it made him faster and stronger.
Yeah,
with the weight loss.
When you didn't think he could
Incredible.
move any faster, that's what it
Right.
was.
Right.
LA Knight's run, I think, is short-lived. They dropped the ball on him. They didn't capitalize him when they should have. 100%. I agree with that one. The repetition you were complaining about. I'm always complaining about repetition. My point is, you were talking about the same promo, but I gave you numerous examples. But the thing about Cody and Gunther's promos is that it's the same. It's like John Cena's promos, right? It's you know the talking points, you know what's gonna happen, and the problem is it's not you know. I guess more importantly, it's what Roman Reigns said. It's like missionary over and over and over. It's just you hear Cody talk, you're like, all right, Cody's gonna come out, talk about, and what do you want to talk about, and then go into some emphatic speech about, like, oh well, Kevin Owens and I were friends for a long time, and sure, while like I wasn't around all the time like I should have been every single moment that he was getting pummeled by Roman, I showed up for Roman when it was important. Like, it's gonna be some lame thing like that. And then Gunther is always like, nobody's on the level of Gunther. I'm the greatest wrestler of all time. I don't know if that's a perfect accent or not.
You sound
Oh, God,
French
God.
as fuck.
Yeah, you did.
You stole my baguette.
How dare you? You steal my baguette. I shall go. Smell of wine and stinky cheese. That's what I said. Piss off. You gave catchphrase. They legit cut the same promos week after week after week. It's not the same. 100%.
In here again.
Finally, The Rock has come back to. Yeah, but that's, again, we're talking about entering into conversation. Like, we're not talking about the same we're talking about the same style of promo. You know what I mean? It's like The Rock, right? The Rock will come out and he'll say some shit, and it'll be like, we'll say, finally, The Rock has come back to blah 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 blah, right? But that's not the part that we're talking about. We're talking about the part of like, it's, I'm gonna say something, and then I'm gonna call you a name, and then I'm gonna get these people to call you said name, and then we're gonna come back and talk about how we've had a history and a feud for a long time, and then I'm gonna end with my famous catchphrase, if you smell. But if you hear that all the time, then you kind of know what to predict, and that's the part where I'm not with it anymore. I'm just like, Gunther and Cody do it all the time, and I'm just kind of like, I'm done with like the pacing and the tempo and like the inflection parts. Like, I know when they're coming, and I'm kind of tired of it. Bro, that
next year is new me, new year, new me for everybody.
Oh, I hope so.
I'm hoping.
It'll throw the crowd off once they get to Netflix.
Yeah,
they'll throw it off.
That flying, he's right. That flying shoulder tackle.
That was crazy.
God damn.
6 feet in the air for no reason.
Didn't
Gunther use flabbergasted last night? I'm sure he did. I'm sure he probably did.
He might have.
Yo, all right. So let's get into War Games. CHAZ wanted this, but CHAZ isn't here to talk about it because, CHAZ is watching the Ravens and the Eagles play. So I'm guessing he wanted to complain about the War Games matches. But the question is, do we need 2 War Game matches in one show? And actually, you know what? I understand kind of where he's coming from, because like Survivor Series War Games is essentially, it's just a replacement of what Hell in a Cell was.
Yeah.
We have to have a War Games match, right? Not we need a War Games match now, right? So I guess I kind of feel where he's coming from. Like the women's one, which is kind of thrown together, if I want to say, whereas like at least we had Bloodline 2.0 versus the old Bloodline, and they were clashing. They were looking for a 5th member. You could just kind of throw in anybody at that point, and Bronson Reed and CM Punk were the 2. I do understand, but the women's one was kind of like just kind of a thrown together thing. So was it really necessary to have on the show? And I guess that's what we'll pull from that part.
I guess that's what it kind of felt like. Like the match itself was good. Yeah, the beginning was a bit wonky, but like, of course, as it went on, it did get better. Especially once everybody was in there, it started getting better and better. The story in there was a bit thrown together. But I mean, essentially, it was more about Rhea and Liv. Let's be honest. It was more about them, and then bringing everybody into their vortex of doom.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, they could probably get away with doing only one War Games match from this point forward. Like, I think I would have been all right with who else said this? I heard it somewhere, but I think I would have been okay with it being a traditional Survivor Series match, the women's.
Yeah.
I think they could have got away with that, and it would have been fine. But at the same time, I get they wanted to have two.
Yeah.
So,
go ahead, Twitch.
I feel like we're in a time where everybody has to have the same thing as the other. Like the men have to have what the women have, the women have to have what the men have. The men's War Game match had a story to tell. I agree with what both of you were saying. With the women's one was very thrown together, and Damien, you're correct. Essentially, when you break it all down, it's just about Rhea and Liv. I could have done without it, but then I see what happens when everybody was in it. Here we are talking about EO doing the trash can moonsault.
there were little stories in there.
There was little stories in there, but like you said, this was essentially about Rhea and Liv. That's all this was. I wish it wasn't as rushed as it was, like as thrown together. I mean, like,
yeah,
I wish
they had
there
more
was
time to
some
build it.
Yeah, I wish there was some sort of meaning behind it instead of just this is what you get.
Well, and it's almost like we forget that, at what's it, Crown Jewel, like Liv and Nia like fought against each other. You know what I mean? Like, so what would make them want to team up together to get into War Games? You know what I mean? Like they should be on opposite teams, and sure they're both heels, great, but that doesn't solve the issue. You know what I mean? Like, and it is. It's kind of like rushed together. Like if you're gonna tell the story, right, and make it make sense. You know, it. I gotta throw this up real quick. But Bailey being added to you know to the game, other than just why couldn't Kyrie Sane be involved?
No, that's a fair point.
You know what I mean? Like that's a great add in, right? But you put Bailey in there, and I get you're trying to be like, well, we want to put in more star power. Well, why? I mean, Bianca's a star on her own, right? You have Rhea, then you have EO, and Liv and I are taking off. Tiffany's is burning up, so you have the right people kind of in the play, but the story didn't make sense to just randomly have, Bailey kind of thrown in there. And even if that, like Bailey and EO didn't even, and I think that's maybe that we're tying into that kind of story because Bailey and EO never even celebrated together, if you noticed.
Yeah, they had that little issue. They had that little issue in the match. But Bailey's also had issues with all of the ladies on her team.
Yeah.
I guess that's maybe with the story of her still trying to prove that she's not the same person. I think that's the story that they were trying to go with. That's why she helped Bianca beat Nia to get advantage. But it wasn't as fleshed out as the men's.
Yeah, and I mean, go ahead.
You're a different person. That's the story we're telling. You don't cheat anymore, yet you help Bianca cheat to win to get the advantage. Makes total sense, right?
No, I didn't say she didn't cheat anymore. I just said she's a different person.
Yeah, but you're essentially saying that you don't cheat anymore to get victories. You're a different person.
Always a cheater.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you cheated to help your team win. Get fucked.
I didn't think that she was trusted to begin with. She could have been the one to take out Jade to get her spot.
You know what? I don't disagree with you.
I wouldn't put it past her.
Once a trifling hoe, always a trifling hoe.
I mean, why you think EO didn't trust her?
But if you look back at like the alliances between them all, right? Like Bailey's kind of like the odd person out. Like
A little bit,
Rhea
yeah.
and Io have kind of like worked on their chemistry. They're obviously friends. We saw that towards the end. Naomi and Bianca, right? Same, right? We saw Io is like helped out Bianca here and there every once in a while. Rhea Ripley and Bianca are tight. Bailey just kind of like the odd person out. So you're kind of like you're inferring like that these people are just like a thrown together team, but there's some stories behind it. And Bailey though shouldn't have been involved. Like I love Bailey, but Bailey shouldn't have been involved in the story. It should have been like, like I said, Kyrie Sane or shit. I know she just came back, man. Dakota Kai, like, you know what I mean? Like that they could have all been in it. And Dakota Kai has history with Rhea from like NXT where she was friends with her. She also wasn't friends with her.
And
There was
Raquel.
this whole thing. Yeah.
And she's got history with Raquel. So
Yeah. I mean, we just have this whole thing going on. We have this whole story tied up and instead, and it goes back to like we rushed this and then we put it together. Whereas like when you look at the men's side, right, it's the bloodline story. Like we have these teams that are lined up, that are ready to fight it out. I mean, last year's men's War Games match was kind of just like a random thrown together. We had
it
some
felt like
friendships
it,
here. Yeah. But this year, obviously Roman, and then you have everybody else in there involved, the new bloodline, old bloodline. It's a long story that was told together, and they both had to pull another member, right? And they could have left it alone too. They didn't have to say anything because it wasn't until Solo said our fifth member is Sami Zayn. They could have just left it alone. They could have been
Yeah.
like, it's you, us four versus you four. You find three other people. Instead, he says that line, then they rush to get another person. So then they get, they bring in I want to call him Jonah. They bring in Bronson Reed, and then they bring in CM Punk.
The funny
And
part
see,
about it is Bronson fit the fucking new bloodline so fucking well.
yeah, he
That's
gave us
the
a tag team we
scary
didn't know we
part.
wanted.
Like
He gave
that's
us a tag team we didn't know we wanted.
exactly. And like the scary part is that it meshed so fucking well together that I wouldn't be mad if he was a permanent part of it.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that.
And then like even adding Punk, even though it was random, it made sense though.
Well, I mean, with the commonality of
Exactly.
the
That's what I said. It made sense. It ended up making sense, is what I'm saying. It wasn't
100%.
as random as Bailey getting tossed in there.
No.
So I guess this year we can agree that this year we probably could have just dealt with one War Games match and then like a Survivor Series type match because it is still fucking Survivor Series. I still
Right.
don't understand how we don't have a Survivor Series. And what's even worse is that you have two factions that you're not really using. You could have done a Survivor Series type match with, like the Wyatt Six and the New Testament could have just the Final Testament could have been. They could have been the tags, or you could have thrown in LWO, and it still would still been the same.
Do
Like
something with American made.
American made.
There was a lot that they could have done, but of course WWE is all about conserving time.
At
the same time, I'm not mad at them about it.
I am. I'll be honest. I'm mad because it's like you promote listen, when Survivor Series started up, right? It wasn't this idea that we're gonna do a couple of singles matches and then we'll do these 5-on-5 elimination style matches. It was that Survivor Series was just supposed to be something that was supposed to be unique, and now that we have War Games attached to it, sure, you can have 2 War Game matches, but I still want a Survivor Series type match because look, fuck me for being an old head and saying, hey man, like you call this Survivor Series, but we don't have it. We haven't had a solo Survivor in a while.
It's been a grip. It's been a grip.
Either give me a Survivor Series match or change the name of the fucking pay-per-view. PLE, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, they ain't gonna do that.
Some War Games.
Or move War Games to its own pay-per-view. Like I get it, right? And we have a match, and you don't want to do that aspect because that's not Survivor Series was supposed to be the answer to War Games. I understand that, but my problem is I still like seeing those 10-on-10, 5-on-5 elimination matches. Listen, my favorite Survivor Series is still Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT. Like, yo,
All
like,
day.
oh my god, bro. And then we were just watching teams get eliminated, and NXT was just dominating. And then, obviously they lost to Dynamite in the wars. We're not talking about that. But think about all the people that came out of that whole situation. Like, Gunther was there. Walter was in the NXT team. You had Keith Lee, like his eruption, right? Adam Cole had just beaten Bryan Danielson, or Daniel Bryan, prior to that. Like, bro, like there was so much cool stuff that was happening. But we want these big matchups, and you're not giving them to us. And you could have had Team Cody versus, whatever, Team Gunther if you wanted to. I don't care. You could have just made them, right? Two number one like you have your two number one contenders, right? So whoever's getting number one contender to Cody, that team versus Cody's team. Same thing with Gunther. Team Priest versus Team Gunther. Like, you could have had that. You don't have to have those titles defended. It just irks me because it's like there's so much stuff that could have happened. And I know everybody has like their opinion on it, but that's mine. And I think that there should be no issue. Like,
No.
this is the team right here. Sorry, Nasser. Welcome to my TED Talk. Well, you're on my podcast. Welcome to my podcast.
Welcome to the show, bitch.
Welcome to the show. All right, we're gonna hop into the comments really quick. How about a whole pasty Sheamus passing the torch and taking a hell of a lot of bumps this late in his career is just pure work ethic. 100%.
Bro, that man is a whole different animal.
Yeah, he is. It was
Whole
like
different.
It almost seems like ever since that like his first set of matches with Gunther and Drew, it just seems like he just keeps going harder and harder and harder every fucking match.
And then, what do you guys want me to do? You want me to jump off this top rope onto that table, onto the announcing desk? Bet. Watch me.
Bro just does banger after banger, like he said, man.
I think War Games is very slow until everyone is in a ring. 100%.
I think it gets down to time.
I will say this, though. Yeah, I will say this. Having Bayley and Nia Jax start the women's War Games was the right move.
It was.
Yeah.
I think they should cut the time limit, like instead of 5 minutes, 3 minutes.
Yeah, I agree.
Down to 3 minutes to 2 minutes.
Yeah, it should initially start with 3 and then every 2 after that.
Yeah, or every 90 seconds, something.
This isn't the Rumble. There's rules. We gotta do at least 2.
We have etiquette here.
I thought the women's was sloppy at first. Definitely got better as it progressed. 100%.
Yeah.
There was a lot of there was like the opening spot with Nia and Bayley where there was just like a weird like little duck under something. And there was just some things that just weren't clicking right away. And then once everybody kind of started getting in and things started kind of moving a little bit better, yeah, I agree. It definitely got better.
Shout outs to Nia being smart and not just swinging the chair all willy nilly.
I agree with that.
Hitting them right. I am proud of her for that one.
I agree it was sloppy at the beginning, but let's be fair. So was the men. Mr. Tama Tonga pinning somebody before everybody was in this match. I saw that.
Dude, Tama Tonga, from the time he got into that cage to the time that he was just not existing until the coke wore off, finally towards the end of the match.
Yeah.
Dude, that man, I agree with you when you said in our chat that he did a fucking 8-ball.
Bro, totally did. I guarantee it.
Who the fuck climbs around the whole cage?
Tama Tonga.
Tama Tonga.
And then on the top rope. What the fuck?
Unpopular opinion: War Games, women's War Games match was not needed. I don't think it's an unpopular opinion.
It's not an unpopular opinion.
I don't think it's unpopular. It was rushed
this year.
Yeah, I think last year. I think I forget what the story was for the women's match. I definitely thought the men's match wasn't necessary.
Yeah, it had a better story than the men's last year.
Yeah, 100%. I thought they really focused on like the men's story a lot this time. They need to go back to old school. Win by submission. Pinning in War Games is weak. I
agree.
Now we're kind of in. I do agree that it should be by submission, or forfeit. Right? Isn't that what they say? The other one too.
Yeah. It was like by forfeit or submission.
Yeah.
I feel like if you do that, though, you need to lower the time in between people entering.
Oh,
Well, I
100%.
mean, you definitely for sure, yes. And then you only need to do one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
If
Yeah.
you're doing that, that means there's real stakes involved.
At
Yep.
this point, make it an intergender war games match.
Let's do. I'm just
I'm
saying.
here.
Listen, there's nothing better than remember. Hey, first of all, don't ill nothing, man. When we
No,
saw,
it wasn't
when
an
we saw
ill,
Becky,
it was-
when we no, and the only reason I say it that way, right, is because when we saw Becky take that end of days from Baron Corbin, we
That
all
was
was like, oh,
Yes.
we're getting it back, and it never happened. Nothing
Nothing.
came off of that.
that was more of a It wasn't an it was more of a I'm on the fence on that.
I also feel like back in WCW days during the War Games, they would utilize the second ring in every tag team or singles match. Yeah, it is kind of weird to see that there's two rings and the second, like the singles matches always stay in one ring and doesn't move over to the other. Like you have the opportunity to jump to the other side. Like
That
just
annoys the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
I think there's a rule in place for them to not do that. Actually,
Well, that rule is stupid.
I think
That's a
that
stupid
I
rule.
think the second. Oddly enough, because I remember hearing and commentating about that. Like, I think the second ring is considered like the floor. They can get counted out in that ring.
Well,
Cool.
then that's retarded because
Then
you're
throw 'em
still
on
in
the-
a ring.
You're
I
still
didn't
in-
say it was smart. I'm just
No,
saying
I know. I feel where you're coming from.
that's just how they do it. I don't know why.
And I
But
think
there's a way
Tiffy
to
will
do it.
eventually cash in on Nia. Yeah, she is. And we kind of saw the turn of that. Like,
Dude, I love that attempted cash in, like that whole entire spot,
yeah,
and then like the fire extinguisher, and then all of a sudden Raquel's
handcuffs. What a
handcuffed to
great,
the tower rope. It was great.
yeah, what a great way to like neutralize Raquel, like with that
Yeah.
whole
Right.
situation.
Dude,
I
that
feel like
whole-
I'm the only one who doesn't care when Tiffany Stratton cashes in anymore.
Oh, I don't either. I just
You watch the fuck out of it at every event that it's. I hope you lose.
oh,
No, I can't have
stop being mean
I need,
about
I need
my future
Tiffany
ex baby
time.
mom.
I want that too, but at the same time, either get it over with or move on.
Mr. Golden says
Nah.
that ass. That's why they put Bailey in.
Agreed.
Yeah,
I agree.
probably.
And when Jade Cargill comes back, I think the storyline will be Bianca, who is the one that took her out because she didn't want to share the spotlight. Your thoughts, gentlemen?
Yes,
Agreed.
I 100% agree that Bianca took out her partner. She had more than enough time to do it when she came out to the ring, and she probably got in the back of the ambulance just to make sure that she was out cold. And if it wasn't for the extra paramedic in there, she probably would have tried to take her out permanently. Just saying.
I feel like we've totally seen that storyline before.
Yeah.
Wait, it's coming to me. Who ran Stone Cold over?
I did it for The Rock. I did it for the people. The men's war game match was developed and built properly. They just threw the women's one together, and it wasn't necessarily needed this. They could have elimination. They could have done the tag. Yeah, they could have just done tag match. I agree. Do you know if anybody recalls? I do believe The Rock beat CM Punk at Royal Rumble when he won the title the last time, in which would tie into the Bloodline story. So yes, he did.
Yeah,
I remember because if the Shield had got involved, which crazy enough, Roman was there. If the Shield had got involved, CM Punk would lose the title, in which The Rock said, "Hold on, let me take care of this," and he hit him with the people's elbow, and that's how he pinned him.
Yeah, I remember that.
But they are not going to give the women a war game match because of equality nowadays.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, 100%.
I mean, I get why they did it,
Yeah,
and I understand it completely. It's fair. Let's just put it out there. It's fair. I get it. The women, they deserve it. It's not saying that they don't deserve it,
Yeah.
but they didn't have to do it, is what I'm saying.
there just needs to be proper story building. Like
Yeah.
if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it properly. We're gonna have to start back at SummerSlam. Like if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it back at SummerSlam, and it's gonna make sense. because I just don't like the idea that it gets thrown together so quickly. More Move War Games to SummerSlam. It was a summertime match back in the day. I agree. I think it should be
They
on
could.
SummerSlam.
They
Was
could.
it
It
a
wouldn't
summer?
hurt it. Yeah, it
Was it a
was.
summertime
Yeah, it
event?
was
Yeah.
like the end of. It was the end of August.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
like
Okay.
right before Labor Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, what Red Dog said. And then handcuffs are so stupid to have in a match unless you beat the shit out of the person. Well, in this instance, all he needed was just to get Raquel out of the way because she was the biggest threat at the time because Nia
Now
had
you
been,
got put through a table.
she got put through a table. She was out.
Yeah, she
So, it makes
was.
sense.
No,
Yo,
handcuffs are good to neutralize a bigger person, or as you said, Mr. Golden, beat the dog shit out of somebody. Look,
Yep.
I won a match by handcuffing somebody to the bottom rope as I climbed the ladder to get a title. Perfect reason to use fucking handcuffs. However, they did get used on me after I won
Yeah.
when I got beat down.
Well, with that being said, let's jump into our favorite segment of the day.
That
Do I
fucking
have a dumbass of this week
I mean,
besides Jericho and that fucked up fugly ass coat?
we can
And
start with
whoever,
that.
you know what? Whoever told Jericho that it was okay for him to wear that coat should also be on the list.
Did the IWC do anything?
I'm always going to put them in there regardless.
Okay.
And they're always fucking up some way, somehow.
Yeah, because they'll probably say something about, some person didn't deserve this or something stupid that way.
I know people were pissed
actually-
about Shinsuke winning the title.
Is
That
it,
was
is it really
dumb.
okay? Is it really weird that we have been sitting here, right, talking about has anybody really done anything? And we've been talking about war games and shit. We has somebody, yes, Tony Khan has done something stupid. Ricky Starks getting pulled from DCW.
Oh, I forgot.
Oh yeah.
I
was
totally
just thinking,
forgot
how
about
quick
that.
that happened.
Can
Oh,
that
I
just be a shoe in? Like,
Yeah,
can
I
we
think that's
just-
an automatic. That's automatic. Jericho gets a pass this week. It's just fucking Tony because that was so fucking childish, so fucking stupid, and it is ironic that it happens on the evening after his interview is dropped.
Yes.
I want you to know that I respect that you are willing to take Jericho off this list, but as somebody who has lived in Texas, you don't do that to a cowboy hat.
All right, we'll let him share the dumbassery this week.
I'm okay
Right,
with
you know
that.
what?
All right.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. So
All right,
let's hold on real quick. Let's fill in for those who may not have known about what happened. Right. Let's run through it. So real quick, TDLR. Right. Effie from GCW. Right. Does he does a podcast. He has his own podcast. And he mentions about how AEW decided to run a show around the same time as GCW at Hammerstein in Philadelphia. Now, for those who don't know, Hammerstein, very famous arena, really well known for ECW being ran through it. So anyway, Effie makes this comment that says, I don't have a dad who, he said, we don't have a father who pays for us to stay away. And then Bloodsport happens, GCW's Bloodsport. All AEW talent's on there with WWE talent, right? They're all working together on the show, make it the best that it is. And then from there, Ricky Starks, his interview with CVV, Chris Van Vliet, friend of the show, by the way, comes out. And all of a sudden, Tony Khan pulls Ricky Starks off of a couple dates that he had already agreed to with GCW, that AEW had already agreed to. Now, rumor has it that it was Effie's podcast that spurred, Tony Khan pulling Ricky, even though Ricky Starks hasn't been on TV since what, March?
If
April?
that,
Yeah.
if
So on that
that,
time frame after they
Yeah.
dropped the tag titles.
yeah.
Actually, that's what it was. After they dropped the tag titles to the Bucks, like we saw him like maybe once or twice. That was it. But anyway, so Ricky Starks gets pulled off of a couple dates that he has with GCW, and the internet, right? IWC is blaming Effie for it, even though it wasn't Effie, right? That said anything. So yeah, to kind of give you guys like that long overrun story about what happened. Yeah, 100% Tony Khan deserves to be in this block because it's like, bro, you first of all, your dad has been in this business, like he has been tied up in this business. It's your job to smarten up your dad in this business, right? Um, and also, like you should be well aware that someone's gonna say something, right? But your dad didn't get mad. He didn't get pissed off about it. He didn't say anything that was like, "Oh no, that's messed up. You pull your talent from the show." Like he didn't do any of that. So why was it you? Why did you make the assumption that you had to pull your talent from when it's not even your talent? Why you had to pull talent off of another show that you're not even utilizing? Ricky Starks is one of the best things that you have on your show, and you're not utilizing that man. Like that's crazy to me. That this man is just sitting at home, lifting, playing video games, and working out and wrestling. That's it.
And occasionally doing dates when he can.
Yeah, when they approve
If they allow him now,
right?
Yeah, and now GCW doesn't even get to use him for a match with Matt Cardona or a match with whoever else that they were going to plan on doing. Like it's just crazy to me. To me, it was just childish.
Why do we see this a lot with AEW though? Like Miro, Ricky Starks, like
there's a couple of people.
Yeah, Andrade. Like there's a solid
the
list
House
of
of Black as much as they should be.
Yeah,
like they started using them a little bit more. I mean, they're not letting Phoenix go, and you're not using them.
Yeah,
they weren't using Penta either,
right?
Because he heard that he wanted. It's like he hears things and then he gets butthurt and then he doesn't use you, but yet he tries to say that he stands on business.
I remember he was all about like, if a wrestler doesn't want to be here, then we'll just let them go. We'll just let them go do the thing. And you have a couple wrestlers who don't want to be a part of your program, and you're not letting them go. So, what kind of hypocrite are you to be popping out that way?
Cocaine is a hell of a drug, buddy.
In the words of CHAZ. Anyway.
In the words of Tama Tonga.
Let's get to talking about something. We got a fun category. CHAZ actually put this up, and I actually really want to talk about this. Let's go with GOAT Talk. So our GOAT Talk today, right? We're talking about greatest of all time. We have the New Day versus the Motor City Machine Guns. Now, both teams very highly respected in tag team wrestling. Both teams are highly respected on just both fronts, right? But I will give the floor to Damien first. I'll go, and then Twitch, I'm gonna let you go last.
Okay.
This is I'm gonna have to go with Motor City. The only reason why I'm saying that is because they've been everywhere, legitly everywhere now. And everywhere they go, they're fucking respected. They're the reason why tag teams do the shit that they do today. Let's keep it a buck. Don't get me wrong, New Day is one of the greatest tag teams in WWE. 10 years of nothing but entertainment phenomenal and selling merch like motherfucking crazy and making a shit ton of fucking money.
Right.
I even enjoyed them interrupting business flow at WWE headquarters this past week, throwing ice cream at people. It's fucking amazing. However, I have to give it to Motor City Machine Guns. I'm sorry. I love the New Day, but if we're talking like the GOAT all time, yeah, it's definitely Motor City.
Okay, so I see your point, right? I'll be fair. I didn't watch Impact or Ring of Honor like that, so I wasn't really too familiar with them. I'll say TNA. Wasn't really watching Ring of Honor or TNA like that, so I wasn't too familiar with them. But when it came to the E, obviously, like we're all paying attention. It is something to be said though when you become an 11-time tag team champion, especially in the E, and how long you've been doing it. 10 years. That's roughly one title reign a year. You know,
literally.
those guys are holding down an entire time they were holding down. And remember, at one time, I forget what Survivor Series it was, but they were on the pre-show. They were a pre-show tag team match, and I think it was like SmackDown versus Raw, and I think they were on SmackDown, and all of SmackDown got swept by Raw except one match was that tag team match, and that following week on Thanksgiving they had the one. They put a one and they like 1-8 or something like that to acknowledge that they were the only team to win. They're a team that evolutionized how you're supposed to be like as a faction. Like you don't have to be, they started off as a bunch of like they were preachers. They were preachers, and then they're like, yeah, we're not really working with this. We have to kind of change this, and they stopped giving a fuck. And when they like, just like Hunter said right on that interview, once they stopped giving a fuck, like the crowd really got into them, and they got everything over. Every pop culture thing they wanted to do, they got over.
Yeah, they did.
Right. God's sakes, Xavier Woods talked about being a Pokemon Go player and like how good he was at it, and the crowd ate it up, and then John Cena was like, what are we talking about? And then like he just randomly joined in, right? And that was also with Enzo and Cass, like in that same segment. Like I think about those guys, and like you have two world champions, right, in Kofi and as well as Big E. You have a King of the Ring winner and Xavier, multiple tag titles between them, right, to include an NXT tag title run too. So they're a Grand Slam tag team champion. Like, there's just so much accolades that these guys hold that like no one else, like aside from probably the Shield, maybe I would like put in that category. I would say like are in the same category as those guys. So for me, I'll finish off by just saying it's got to be New Day to me over Motor City Machine Gun.
Well, I thought I was going to be arguing with the wrong person today. So going back to our top 50 lists that we did, the reason John Cena wasn't number one is the same reason I say that it's Motor City over the New Day, is they wouldn't be anything without WWE. Let's be serious. We got excited when we heard that the Motor City Machine Guns were coming to the E. I don't think without WWE, New Day would be what it is. I don't think they would have the 10-year longevity that they've had. Even going to what Damien was saying, I know they wouldn't sell the merch that they would. Maybe not. When you're talking about the greatest of all time, you're putting a team who has been with one company for 10 years and has done multiple things against a group of people who have been everywhere and have done multiple things. New Japan Tag Team Champions, multiple time TNA Impact, whatever you know it as, Tag Team Champions. They show up and within 3 weeks in the E, they're WWE Tag Team Champions. Like, so when I think you're talking about the greatest of all time in this sense, it goes with the Machine Guns.
It was really hard for me. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you.
I feel you. I'm gonna say this, right? If the New Day was at TNA or Impact, they would be just as over as they were in the E. At the E, they'd be way over. I'm gonna put it that way. If they were on Impact or TNA, they would be over as well. They would be just as over.
I don't disagree with you on the fact that they would be over, but my question would be, would they still have that 10-year longevity that they've had in the E?
Oh, 100%.
I think they could. 100%. I think it's just because we didn't get that experience of them leaving as a whole and being out there as a whole. That's the only reason why I picked Motor City over. But then again, I've seen them in their early days. Like you said, Cliff, you didn't really
you didn't watch it. So
that makes sense. New Day is more what you know about it, which makes perfect sense. For me, I'm stuck in the middle. So
I agree with being stuck in the middle on this, but I feel like I said, when you're talking about the greatest of all time, I feel like we're looking at people much like we did with AJ, who has been everywhere, and that's what put him number one at our top 50.
100%.
I feel like we're looking at a team that's been everywhere versus a team that's just been one place, and maybe it's because they haven't left.
I can understand that. I think for me, like, Austin Creed, right, was well over in Impact. He wasn't
Yeah, he
quite to
was.
the level that he was now, obviously.
Yeah, but he
But-
definitely was over in Impact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was over, and then I think Biggie.
Oh, yeah.
Biggie would have been over too. Like, and that's why I think when it comes to the U.S., yeah, 100%. I think New Day. If New Day was a team anywhere else, I think we would be talking about them. I don't know if we would be talking about them in the same sense as we would probably talk about. Let's be real. Like if the Usos were like just WWE and then the New Day were out, we probably be talking about the Usos would probably be in that
Usos.
category.
Yeah.
If we do topic that we talk about. I think for me though, what it is just that the amount of things that they have done with being over and keeping the idea fresh and up to date makes me believe that New Day is and I want to say, I'm not gonna say a better tag team. It's just more over tag team than what Motor City Machine Guns is, because granted, Motor City is a better tag team, right, than New Day. They're innovative. They have great offense, but let's be real, man. Like, they're not hitting in WWE like we thought they would be hitting.
No.
And it's not their fault. It's just that, the crowd it's going to take them time to kind of understand like what they're all about. And then this whole storyline that they're doing with Johnny and Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, like we're understanding it's getting there, but it's just going to take some time. But when you look at the New Day, like they struggled the very first couple weeks, and then from there, like they became heels, then they became faces, and then from there they just never changed. They're always faces, and people just loved everything that they were doing. So I think for that, I understand AJ being around, I understand Motor City Machine Guns being around. I just think those three individuals, like doing everything they're doing at WrestleMania, the cash in with Big E, there's like so many high point moments to me that I can't dismiss that. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's what I said. I'm really stuck in the middle when it comes to that. Like,
yeah,
who's made the most money? It's definitely New Day.
Of course.
Yeah.
They've made the most money hands down. They've also probably they have the most longevity of time together. Because you got to remember, the Machine Guns did take a while apart from each other. Like, I mean, a good while. It wasn't like it was a few months that they were not together as a tag team. They literally split up for like a good 8 years. It was a good chunk of time where they were just off doing their own single shit or tagging randomly with other people. I think, but they both tagged with Kushida.
Yep.
On separate occasions. I mean, one of them came to the E to be the tag with Kushida for at one time. So
yeah,
Alex, remember, because he did the seminar. He did a seminar at NXT.
Yeah. So like
the Time Splitters.
Yeah, that's what they were called. So it really is hard for me, and the more and more we talk about it, the more I flip flop. So like I don't know, maybe I am just stuck in the middle. Maybe I just don't know. Like
I think the other part too is that like what I loved about and it's also what I love about when I watch Kushida when he joins up with Motor City Machine Guns is just the versatility that the New Day have, right? Like team speed, team strength, team all around, right? Like
yeah.
They literally came out with Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails, and people were like, they don't even match. But then they were matching on like a deeper level.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. When it comes to everything they're doing outside with just like their costumes, the costumes, the maneuvers, the way they deliver. I mean, they did the rap battle. This is why I just have so many moments that I love with.
Oh, there's a shit ton.
New Day. Yeah,
them and the Usos killed it. And that feud that they had. It was amazing. It was perfect from beginning to end.
But what about y'all? What do you guys think?
What y'all
who's
think?
your team? Motor City Machine Guns, or is it the New Day? Also, if you guys go on Twitter, it's up. The poll is up right now. You guys can put your votes in, and if I can remember at the end, I will read off who won and who lost. If that, if that's the thing. Yeah. So go out there and put your votes in because we want to hear from you. Also, put your comments in because we also want to hear from you guys too. The Great American Bash tour in the '80s. I think that's what we're talking about when War Games, and then. Poor tables, 100%. Tables were just exploding.
Oh God, yeah, they were. They were very good tables for people to go through.
Yep, 100%.
Just exploding everywhere.
We're gonna go. So we were gonna do around the turnbuckle. I guess actually I still kind of want to. I think that I want to talk about, right? So last night, as I mentioned earlier on the show, I was at Focus Pro Wrestling, helping out, right? Bruh, the amount of people that got over with the crowd was phenomenal, right?
Oh yeah.
I talked about it with Brian Bayside. He actually wrestled Matt Tremont. So if you guys know who that is, H2O legend, deathmatch legend, also just one of the nicest dudes you could talk to. I told Brian, I was like, on this card, I think that you probably had like third, fourth best match, right? Manny Aries and Marcus Madden, I just talked about it, right? I thought that was the top match. After that, Desmond Cole versus Tyree Taylor, who also friend of the show. So I'm kind of biased, I guess, with that. Brian Bayside and Matt Tremont. And then from there, there was just a slew of people. Like Junie Underwood was like over with the crowd, right? Like he was just being hated as a heel. Austin Luke was another one, right? Danny Miles, right? Hopefully we get her on the show. I want her on the show, respectively. Gabby Forza. If you guys don't know who the Nomi is, you guys definitely go check her out because she's actually really good. Former, I think she was a WNFL player, and now she's a pro wrestler. She's married to Bear Bronson. So if you guys want to know, really, really great individual. I couldn't put the show over enough. If you guys get a chance to go check it out, it was definitely a lot of fun to be a part of, and you guys just enjoy, because just a match that you guys will just enjoy too would be Stan Styles versus Eric Academia. Both also friends of the show, but yeah, that was a lot of fun having watching those two just work. So definitely that's my around the horn, because I know a lot of people will be talking about other stuff that's going on. But yeah, what about you guys? What you guys got?
Can we take a second to? I know we talked about Nakamura earlier, but can we just point out the change in his theme song?
Love it.
That is absolute fire.
Love it.
Like the blood moon in the background and him coming out at Survivor Series with the samurai outfit on. Bro, I'm all for it. Like, this man just adapts like a chameleon to whatever situation you put him in.
Yep.
Promos, all of it. Amazing.
Everything, man.
Amazing.
But this man is straight doubt, like just off this promo, just put him in straight doubt. This is what I love. I love also the fact that they're letting wrestlers cut promos in like their native tongue, because
That's
you
cool.
feel the emotion coming off of them.
You do. All right.
I know it's not for everybody, but yeah, man, that's just it. When Io Sky does it, or like Nakamura does it, it's just such a beautiful thing.
I love it when Oscar does it too.
Oscar, yeah, that's another one.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about CM Punk and wanting muffins.
Right? Oh, man.
Him and Jay were so pissed.
Yeah, they were. That was great.
What a letdown.
I don't know why, but I think that was my favorite part of Survivor Series. Was that part of asking for muffins? I was no more good. I was like, yo, you should don't do no more press conferences, bro.
Yep.
I feel like more press conferences.
I feel like anytime he asks for pastries or baked items, it might not end up well. It gets
Wait
me
until
nervous.
they do a show in Chicago.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'd
So
be
let me
on my
tell you,
toes.
I saw last night after I left the show, I saw that there was the thing going on, right? And I didn't watch the press conference, so I was like, all right, well, I'll just check it out this morning when I get up. So I saw the highlight, and I saw that I saw Jimmy and Jay and CM Punk getting pissed off about it. I low key thought that Jay has said, "I'm hurt, I'm tired, and I deal with fucking children." I thought that's what was happening. I didn't know that they were pissed about the muffins. I thought he was just regurgitating something that Punk had said. So it was like I was surprised when
Well, because they gave him they gave him a box.
yeah.
And it
Like,
had like
dude.
1 or 2 in it.
Yeah.
Horrible.
I was like, oh, you know what? I understand why you mad, son.
Yep. They wanted muffins, not a muffin. So yeah, 100%.
Yeah, like all of them were gone, and you see Punk grab the one that was in there and like tried it. And he was like, eh.
Yeah, it was disappointed.
I was very disappointed. He looked disappointed because he didn't have a donut or a muffin. It was great.
100%.
It was fucking amazing. And then his
I was
answer
really-
to the question.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. All right, let's move into the last debate topic before we close out our show. It is that time of season again, a season that we all thoroughly enjoy, and it is called the Continental Classic. Now, listen, this is who we have. So in the Blue League, we've got Shelton Benjamin, Kyle Fletcher, Daniel Garcia, Kusuka Okada. We have Mark Briscoe, and then the Beast Mortos. Then we also have in the Gold League, we have Claudio Castagnoli, we have Brody King, Will Ospreay, Darby Allin, Juice Robinson, and Ricochet. So really, who should win the Continental Classic?
I would really, really want to tell you right now, and I'll go first because you know it's going to be mean. So I'll go first. I would like to say that I care.
Oh man, it would be you.
Oh,
I really, really, really would love to care about this. But as we were kind of conversating on this before, the lineup wasn't what I expected. I expected a little bit more of the Juice Robinsons and like Brody King and you know what I mean? The people that haven't got a championship.
yeah.
That's what I was more looking forward for. So Okada could have some young up and comer take his title from him finally, and they could do something with it. That's what I was looking forward to. So, yeah, I don't know if I care that much. I mean, granted, don't get me wrong. Like, the matchups are going to be fire, of course, because there's a lot of good talent in both brackets. There really is.
Yeah.
But I don't give a fuck who wins. I really don't.
I would like to see somebody like Damien said that you don't see utilized much, maybe pull off an upset victory. But like you and me said this earlier, Cliff, that is such an uneven stacked.
It is.
Like
Yeah.
if you look at the Gold League versus the Blue League, not taking anything away from like Kyle Fletcher and Daniel Garcia, like I said earlier, but when you have the Brody Kings, the Kazuchika Okadas, and just people like that on one side and the other side not being as heavily stacked, it's just like, okay, but why?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. The other side's got I mean, Okada is on the blue. If he doesn't win, I'm sad.
Bro, it's such an uneven.
The other side is more. They should have.
This is like the main event versus the undercard. Like
where they put the one main eventer in the undercard just to make it fair.
Yeah. Just so it's a level playing field. But no, if I had to pick anybody, I wouldn't be mad seeing Shelton Benjamin win it. He's been on a roll since he showed up in AEW. I think who better? Like looking at both sides.
He's got 3 points right now, so I mean he's doing decent.
Yeah.
What's going on is
My fault. Clicking shit.
That scared the fuck out of me.
No, I'll say for me, I think the person I want to win is Brody King.
Okay.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
Yeah,
Me neither.
He's on that murderous side of just ridiculous talent. He's got 3 points right now, but Claudio, Will Ospreay, Darby Allin, Juice Robinson, and Ricochet. Like, I feel like it's gotta be. I want, I'm just gonna say it. I just want Brody King to win. I don't care as much about other than Shelton Benjamin. I don't care about as much anybody else on the other side. Just don't. I just want Brody King to win though, because the House Black needs something.
Yeah, they do it. They just need to let them all go.
Yeah.
God.
Right, please.
Yeah, do something with them, please.
Tony, we're talking to you.
Yep. Trios championships, tag team championships, like
Anything.
singles runs, anything. Just give them something.
Dude, I mean, come on. What's the name? Put on the best match on the last show that they had, the last pay-per-view.
Yep.
Murphy. Buddy.
Yep. Buddy
Yeah.
did.
Matthews.
Buddy Matthews.
Sorry. Matthews.
But not even that, man. Like that match with Adam Cole actually Adam Cole versus Buddy Matthews and Adam Cole.
Yeah, Adam Cole versus Malachi. That was fire.
Both great matches. Yeah,
they were really
100%.
good matches. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I would like to care, but I'm good. So
we're gonna end up getting Will Ospreay versus Okada.
Probably.
Of course.
I'm not disappointed with that. I'm not mad at that. I just want Brody King to win.
I'm not neither, but much like you, I want something that we haven't seen before already.
Yes.
Yeah, give me Brody King versus Shelton Benjamin in the finals.
There you go.
I like that.
I like that right there.
Then
Tony
I'll care.
Khan,
I'll
we're
care.
talking to you.
I'll care then.
Let me get one of the two former WWE superstars.
Right.
bet.
Or give me Ricochet and Okada. I think I'm okay with that too.
It's not bad.
I would rather.
If you gotta give me
if
Okada,
I'm doing anything.
If you're going to give me Okada because he's the champion at the moment, then give me Ricochet instead. If anybody from that other side, I'd rather see that.
Give me Brody King and Okada.
I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing that either.
Okada. Oh my God, let me get Brody King and Okada.
I wouldn't mind seeing that either. Like, I'm okay with that too. But
and I just want to see Brody, and I want to see that part where Okada goes to Superman up and like where he just takes punches, and then Brody King just chops him in the chest, and just Okada's like, no more, no more chops. I'm done with the chops. Exactly. That's exactly what
respect has entered the chat.
Bet. Well, that's all we have for you guys. So
that's it.
Yeah, that's it. That's a wrap.
Yay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna look at the comment really quick, and then we'll hop out of what we're talking about. Let's see.
Hold on. Is it because they went? What did they get 1.4?
Oh, the time limit draw.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gay.
Ain't it?
Oh God, I just realized
we almost made it. We almost made it the whole show.
Sorry, my bad.
So we go to Goat Talk. Currently we have 4 votes. And we have 75% for Motor City Machine Gun, 25% for the New Day.
Intriguing.
Interesting.
Yep. I'm gonna go ahead and just say it. That one vote for the New Day is me.
I so wanted to ask, but I didn't want to disrespect you. Like,
oh, that's great. Who was the dumbass? Did you put up the dumbass of the week poll? We're just gonna
because we just chose Tony.
We're pulling Ricky. Tony Khan was the automatic winner.
Yeah, I was gonna put it up there, but I was like, nah, man, we just gonna ride this out.
Tony deserves that shit. I totally fucking forgot he did that dumbass shit.
It was crazy. And that's, you know what? It was funny because when we were like, did anybody else do anything? And I was like, Oh yeah, the Ricky Starks thing. I was like, yo,
War
fucking
Games
forgot
just
about
took everything over.
Yeah. War
Yeah.
Games totally took it out of my mind. It was like I enjoyed War Games so much, and then the SmackDown before that, I totally forgot he did that dumb ass shit.
It's just funny how we like Tony does something. Like I'm gonna say it. Tony does something, and then like he's like, God, I hope WWE put something up. I forget what I did.
God, I hope The Rock comes back this week so nobody remembers what I did.
Nobody remembers what I said.
Right?
But that is our show. That is everything we have. So I'm not like CHAZ where I'm gonna tell you guys to get a virus if you have a PC. If you listen to this whole thing, great. Thank you for listening. But we are gonna do like every great part of a wrestling match. We're gonna take it home because this is Red Dog and Friends, and I'm your host Clifford Red Dog Miller here with Damien Fatal and the only Graves that matters, Twitch Graves. So you guys know what to do. Tune into the next episode and be there, or you're legitimately listening to us on all of your favorite social media platforms. You're following us on all of your favorite social media platforms. You're listening to us on Spotify. You're checking us out on YouTube. You're subscribed to our YouTube channel. You're listening to us on Amazon Music. You're even listening to us on that dumb app with this stupid jingle that goes iHeartRadio or whatever it is. You're telling your mom about it, your dad about it, your aunties, your uncles, your brothers, your sisters, your grandmas, your grandpas, your best friends, and your enemies because we love haters too.
Hold up. This fool can't be
Just
on the
pop-
podcast.
Oh, there
he
he
can
is.
pop in the goddamn comments. The game must not be that good.
Oh,
Yeah,
they lost.
They're
They
losing.
must have. Yeah,
They're
that's
losing.
what it is.
That's what it is.
He said he hadn't said that in months, I guess, of people getting viruses.
Whatever.
He still said it.
Viruses. You still say it.
Yeah.
Anyway, with that being said, buy our merch on foryourwear.com or even on prowrestlingtees.com. Do all that stuff, or really, you're just waiting for this episode to end. You're waiting for the outro, and then you're choosing another episode to listen to. Kawaii. What's going on? It is Clifford Red Dog Miller, the man that leads you up that mountain called wrestling. And what we need from you guys is to kind of show some support, right? We want you guys to go to our YouTube channel at the 3 Count Podcast, go on to our Twitch channel, 3 Count Pod, or even our Facebook page, 3 Count Podcast, and just give us a like, follow, subscribe, even give us a comment, right? Do all that cool stuff. Share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it with your enemies, right? Or you can even come talk to us and just chat us up, right? Find us on Twitter at 3count_pod. Find us on IG and on TikTok at 3 Count Pod. Go ahead and leave us those comments. We want to hear from all of you guys. We're going to keep putting on videos and stuff like that. We want to keep making this content better, so we want your guys' support. Also, if you guys want to, go support us at prowrestlingtees.com/the 3 Count Podcast, or even find us on foryourwear.com. Give us the support. Show us your guys' love because we want to give it right back to y'all. So, in the meantime, between time, love y'all.